Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex Barnett. Today, we're going to be watching a video from Fox Business Live where they're talking about the upcoming real estate market. And, now that we're in the beginning of the year, I kind of want all of us to be on the same page, but I want to get your opinion because they kind of harp on this one thing that they say is going to solve everything about one, affordable housing, which this channel is all about, and then two, the supply and demand of housing, which ultimately affects the affordability of housing. But I want to see what you guys think. So let's just jump on into it, shall we? All right, so let's take a look at this video. I'm just going to play it. You guys follow along. It's kind of cheesy because it's mainstream friggin' news.
We've got Mike Miedler joining us right now, the Century 21 real estate CEO. Mike's here to rescue me from Charlie. But Mike, let me ask you something, not so much about Bitcoin, but real estate as an investment. It always competes with stocks about whether one is better than the other. How is it looking these days? I mean, from people who are saying this was going to be a problematic year for real estate, I see comebacks in some of the once hot markets that grew on Coles. How do you assess things?
Thanks for having me back on. We did sell a home up in Rhode Island a couple years ago with Dogecoin, so it is a currency that's being used out there. But seriously, on the housing front, I think there's a couple good positive signs that are building momentum, right? I mean, first and foremost, this decade-long run-up in price appreciation, which we've seen certainly double-digit price appreciation over the last 4 years.
That's crazy. So just on that, let's talk about that. So he said price increase on appreciation increase over the last 10 years historically. This is why real estate's one of the best investments you can make. So if it's possible, start saving now. You don't have to go out and buy the $1 million mansion. There's places in this country where there's houses for, under $40K, and you could get a loan on them. You put, a little bit down. Either way, figure out a way where you can buy property and hold on to it because of this one reason. Then he talks about the 4-year jump from 2020. We all know what happened around 2020. Whatever you believe about whether it was manufactured or not, there was an increase, a double increase over the last 4 years. So somebody that bought a house in 2019, their house, and we saw this in California, totally, house friggin' doubled in 4 years. That's insane. For two reasons. It's good for the person, I guess, that bought the property, but then the prices just went through the roof. So if you didn't buy something, then how are you supposed to afford anything, coming on the market today? And that's a big problem. People are getting priced out because, if you look around here in Orange County, it's insane. There's like 1 bedroom, 1 bath houses, 900 square feet for $1.8 million. No lie. Like, that's just insane. So let's let this guy keep going. Keep in mind, this guy he's the CEO of one of the biggest brokers in the nation, Century 21. So he's going to be harping on he's got his agent hat on, and that's what he focuses on.
Is starting to settle in a little bit. I think we'll end the year anywhere from flat to 2 or 3% increase year over year. In fact, there is some buyer negotiation that happens out there where about 40% of the homes that come to market are actually taking a price decrease. Here's the other good news, and you're flashing it up now.
Yeah, they're taking a price decrease, but it's already so inflated that what does the price increase even do? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, on the one hand, if you own the property, it's good. I mean, if it's your primary residence, then you're not, I guess, you're building equity, but you can't really spend your equity until you sell it. So that doesn't necessarily help. It's setting you up for the future. But if you have rental properties, that's a good thing to hear. Again, if you're trying to buy a house, if you're a family or whatever, it's hard to even imagine how to get into there. But keep watching till the end because I'm gonna touch on a couple ways that even if you're not like a W-2 earner, you're not bankable. It's like I was a musician for pretty much. I am still a musician, but that was my main job for like 20 years. So not bankable, but there's ways around it to where you can use creative finance. I'll touch on it on the end, but take a look at this rate, and that's kind of where it's at. And this is what everyone is focusing on and blaming the non-affordability on. So what do you guys think? Is this the main reason?
Now, but the mortgage rates, even though they've come down just a little bit, they are creating more demand. I think week over week, we're up about 3% in purchase applications.
Oh, wow.
That's 4 consecutive weeks in
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
a row. And believe it or not, you know where we were last year, but it's about a 50% increase from November 2023. On top of that, and we've seen the Fed start cutting in September, what that turned into was units across the country lifting and increasing. First time year over year in October, increase in units since 2021. So I think we're seeing some positive signs.
It's not enough, though. I mean, and these guys always do this stuff because they'll use little statistics like it was a 50% increase from November, but it's the needle is not moving at all. More people are coming here. More people require housing. There's not enough. There's not enough options. Now, we're doing something really cool where we're going to be buying up these bigger properties that have, 5, 6, 7 bedrooms, turning it into almost like an Airbnb as far as the quality, what you think of an Airbnb, rehabbed, super nice, and then renting out room by room. So that's one way to at least get something affordable that people can, rent. Now, that's not the end game, but what it is, it's a transition period. So people can save money by renting a room. Yes, you're giving up your privacy, but you can save your money doing it that way and then eventually buy. So that's kind of our plan. It's not the end game for somebody to just live in a room, rent a room. I mean, if they want to do that, that's fine, but it's really so people can have a really nice place that they can rent that's actually affordable. It'll be less than what renting a studio is. Out here in California, you can rent a studio for like $2,600. $1,800 to $2,600 probably. So let's say you could get a place for $1,000 a month, a room, really nice room. It's got common areas. You're living with other people, but you can save money, get a down payment, eventually buy your own place. Hopefully a mobile home. That's what I would say. Manufactured home. We love that too. But he is just sort of, because he's an agent, he wants you to be buying. And let me know if I'm totally off base here. He wants you to get ready to buy. He's probably going to say something about make sure you reach out to an agent. That's not the only way to do things.
Affordability is still the biggest issue, and that's obviously mainly.
But did you hear that? Affordability is still the main issue. So how are we going to fix that? You guys let me know.
Driver of rates.
But there is limited supply, right?
There is limited supply. I mean, we are at decade lows in units that we're selling here. That said, we are a 38% increase in inventory year over year. And you're right. I mean, I argue about this all the time, or argue for it. And I think, hopefully the new administration is going to clear some path for it. But we are needing more development in this country to keep up with the rapid generations who are coming into their main home buying years.
I'm wondering if there's,
So he's blaming it all on development. And there's to be something to be said for that, because it's insane to develop here in California. They just make it really hard. So it just really makes everything come to a grinding halt. So is building more the only answer, or is taking what we have, making it nice, rehabbing maybe some dilapidated homes that are just sitting vacant, reselling them at an affordable price? Is that a solution?
Going to be a problem with inflation next year. Even Donald Trump couldn't rule it out next year as a possibility with it.
And here's the thing with inflation. The government, or I guess the feds, created that whole problem by printing the money, giving it all away, and then being like, well, we'll worry about it later. We're feeling the effects of it right now. And real estate also one of the main things to benefit from inflation. So something to think about.
Ignited growth and the rest. But that means market rates could go backing up a little bit. The Fed could pause on rate cuts a little bit, if not go the other way. I don't know how likely that is, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I hope that the Fed stays true to what they were talking about, which is a couple small.
And you know, these guys are just going to be like sucking each other off the whole rest of the time. But, you know, they're just talking about the rates. It's all about the rates. What can we do? They're just obsessed with the rates. So here's the thing. Here's how we get around rates. By utilizing creative finance. Now and I'm going to do separate videos on this, but there's a thing called Subject to, where we just bought a home in Birmingham, Alabama at a 3% mortgage rate because the owner couldn't keep up with the payments. He had to move. So he wanted to sell it, but he had no equity in there. So what we did, we took over those payments and then we turned it into co-living for unhoused veterans. So that's, you know, one of the things we love to do is work with veterans. So it's a 4-bedroom house. It's like 3,000 square feet. So we're going to put 3 more bedrooms in there and then rent each one out to a veteran who would otherwise most likely be unhoused. So all that to say, we got a 3% mortgage rate still in today's climate because we took over somebody else's payments, which is completely legal. People have been doing it for decades. Look it up, Subject to. Next one, seller finance. So we have 2 mobile homes that we bought on seller finance. And all that is instead of me going and getting a loan or, you know, getting these high rates, I went directly to the seller and say, hey, I'd rather just pay you every month, make you the bank, give you the interest. And then the interest is negotiable at that point. One of them is 0% interest, but I came up on my monthly payments that I'm giving her. And then in turn, what we did was we took that property that we got on seller finance and then we seller financed it to somebody else who wasn't able to go out and get a loan. So there are ways around all this rate talk. So don't believe everything you hear on mainstream media. Obviously, that's like so cliche to say now, but especially when it comes to the real estate market. Yes, there is always going to be an affordability issue, but here's the one thing they may not touch on is once those rates come down, guess what's happening to the prices? They're going way up. As soon as the rates come down, the prices are going up. So it doesn't solve anything. I mean, as far as if they try and push it down from the top by keeping the rates high for another couple years, maybe that will, you know, sort of stop the inflation. But as soon as the rates come down again, they're going back up. So you need to figure out how you can get your own properties right now so you set yourself up and your family for when the next rate cut happens and the prices go through the roof. Creative finance. That's always going to be your best way to go. So I want to know what you guys thought about this video. Do you agree with these 2 knuckleheads on one is a talking head on Fox Business, the other is the CEO for 21st Century. Do you guys agree? Is it all the rates dictating everything? Is there anything else we can do about this affordability issue? I say there is. Co-living, mobile homes, that's what we focus on. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. Thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe, like this video, send it to any other investors that want to get into the affordable living space, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.